Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, sir.
Mm, Before going to today's concept, I have to recap the points what we discussed in the last class. And in the yesterday's class, we discussed certain things regarding the Santal rebellion and Munda tribal revolt, and also have certain things over the codes and other one or two important tribal revolts in the last class. Okay, so today we are going to see some more tribal revolts which happened, which taken place in between 1757 to 1920. Okay, so after 1920, we'll discuss those things later. And first of all, we'll move with these tribal revolts which happened in between the 1757 and 1920. Okay, so I have to recap the points once again. Yesterday, we have discussed two important revolts. One is the Santal, and in the Santal, and next one is the Munda rebellion. Okay, so I have to recap the points with my share with my screen, and I have to present the screen. Okay, students, are you getting my screen? స్టూడెంట్స్ స్క్రీన్ కనిపిస్తుందా?
కనిపిస్తుంది సార్.
Okay, so in the last class, we discussed about the two important tribal revolts. One is the Santal, and the next one is the Munda, which is Munda is one of the great contribution of Birsa Munda, which is a important. Both are the two important rebellions. Both certain these two important movements are from the tribal communities. Okay, so the Santal revolt, which has taken place in between the 1855 to 1857, 58, and the basically the Santals were hardworking and peace-loving and simple folk, living mainly of agriculture in the dense forests of Bankura, Midnapur, Birbhum, Mangon, Chota Nagpur, and Palamau. And the permanent settlement brought these lands under the company's revenue control. And the Santals fled oppressive Jamindars and the company staff and settled down in the hill tracts of Rajmahal and clearing in the Murshidabad forest. Okay, so they started farming here as well, calling it as Damani Eco. And but here too, their oppressors followed them, and exploitation started in full swing. And local moneylenders cheated them with the high rate of interest of 50 to 500%. And the simple-minded Santals reeled under the loans and often had to lose everything even themselves if loans were not paid back. Okay, so the shopkeepers like the Shaukars and other the people from the plain areas were gave them short weight, and the British soldiers and employees forcefully took away their livestock. Even the women were not spared. And among these Santhal rebellion, we find the two important personalities who lead this movement. Both are the brothers like Sidhu and Kangu rose against these dreadful activities. On 30th June 1855, 10,000 Santals assembled at the Baghnadi fields and pledged to establish a free Santal state. And common people like blacksmith, potters, carpenters, and weavers supported them. And other leaders were brothers like the Chand and Bhairav, Bir Singh and Parmanak were also the supported the Sidhu and Kanhu. And rebels ranks swelled and they numbered nearly 50,000. And the postal and rail services were thoroughly disrupted by these Santals. And the rebels targeted railway stations, post offices, police stations, European bungalows, and Jamindars houses. And they bravely fought with only bows and arrows, with armed British soldiers, and nearly brought British rule down from Bhagalpur to Bongir. And trouble spread to the Birbhum and Murshidabad as well. Okay, so from the Birbhum, the whole this Santal rebellion has extended to various parts of the Bengal also, and several British armies were dispatched to quell the rebellion. Okay, so as a result of as a blowout from each and every village of these Santals. Okay, so this blowout made such great hurdles to the British officials and administration of the British. Okay, so as taken it as a serious concern, the British suppressed this movement as well. And at the same time, these many leaders also arrested and sent them to jail, and one or two leaders were hanged. Okay, so such a serious suppression you'll see during the time of the Santhal rebellion. Okay, so at last in the February 1856, the uprising was suppressed, and 23,000 rebels were slaughtered, and Sidhu Kanhu and other leaders were hanged, and the prisoners got jailed terms of 7 to 14 years, and 36 Santhal villages were destroyed. Okay, so the Santhal revolt was essentially a peasant revolt, and people from all professions and communities, such as the potters, blacksmith, weavers, leather workers, and various joined in, and it was distinctly anti-British in the nature. Okay, so as a the biggest movement before the 1857 revolt, which given a much a spark to the other tribals to against the policies of colonial India. Okay, so after the Santhal rebellion, and one more important and biggest rebellion you find in the history of India was the Birsa Munda uprising or the Munda tribal revolt. Okay, so it's taken place in between 1895 to 1900. And in 1895, Birsa, a tribe, urged his followers to recover the past glory, a golden age where the tribals held their heads high. Okay, so he taught a golden past where Mundas led a good life, constructed embankments, tapped natural springs, planted trees and orchards, and practiced cultivation to earn their living. Okay, so likewise, the Birsa Munda, which is mobilized his fellow mates and tribal mates towards the towards um, uh, uh, towards the policies, the colonial policies of British India. Okay, so as the movement spread, the British officials decided to act, and they arrested Birsa in 1895, convicted him on the charges of rioting and jailed him for 2 years. Okay, so when Birsa was released in 1897, he began to gather support against the British by using the traditional methods. They attacked police stations and churches and raided the property of money lenders and jamindars. They raised the white flag as a symbol of Birsa Raj. Okay, so in 1900, Birsa Munda died of cholera and the movement faded out. Okay, so when you see the significance of the movement of Birsa Munda, it showed that tribals could protest against injustice and express their dissatisfaction over the colonial rule. Okay, so it introduced the laws so that the government could not take away the land of the tribals and uh, land of the tribals, and which is the movement which given a spark to the other small tribal movements which you find in the Puka revolt, Paraisi, and other revolts like Wahhabi and Ramosi. Okay, so all these are certain other revolts you will see, which as a spirit of these tribal revolts and these leaders who mobilized tribals like the Santal and Mundas. Okay, so I will give you some more things regarding the other these tribals revolts. I will start with one by one, and I will give you some of the new and these tribal revolts which confined to very smaller sections and certain regions. Okay, so among them, one is the Pagalpanthis. Okay, so Pagalpanthis, among the Pagalpanthi, the Karamsha was the founder of the Pagalpanthi, a semi-religious sect having influence in the northern districts of Bengal, and an activist which is wherever to the sect was imparted by the Tipu, the son and successor of Karamsha. Okay, so Tipu was motivated by the both religious and political motives and took up the cause of the tenants against the oppression of the Jamindars. Okay, so Tipu captured Sirpur in 1825 and assumed royal power. Okay, so the insurgents extended their activities to the Garo Hills. The area remained disturbed till the 1830 and 1840. Okay, so like the Pagalpanthis, another important movement which had a Islamic color is nothing but the Wahhabi movement. Okay, so the Islamic revivalist movement founded by Syed Ahmad of Raebareli, who was inspired by the teachings of Abdul Wahab of Saudi Arabia and Shah Waliullah of Delhi. Okay, so Syed Ahmad condemned the Western influence on the Islam and advocated a return to pure Islam and society. Okay, so which is also such a movement which is having these important Muslim sects were followed this movement and which is having certain religious color. But like the Pharaisi and Pharaisi movement and this Kuka, which is also another movement, Mopla, these are having such peasant nature and religious nature and a tribal nature. But these cannot comes under particularly the tribals. Okay. So apart from this, I will give you the purely tribal rewards. One is the Rams. I will give you certain purely tribal rewards. One of the important tribal revolt is the stone. We already discussed in the last class. Okay, so the stones which was lived in the vast hill tracts of stretching from the Tamil Nadu to the Bengal, covering the central provinces and virtual independence. Okay, so where among the this pond uprising, you see the important tradition, particularly human sacrifice. Okay, so and these cones also face certain introduction of the new taxes by the British, and where and also there is the interference of the Jamindars and Shahukars or the money lenders in the lives of these cones, and these cones were also had a great fight along with other important tribes, nothing but the Savaras. Okay, so and after these Savaras and these codes, we also have some important things over the bills and police. Okay, so the bills were concentrated in the hill ranges of Khandesh in the previous Maratha region. Okay, so where the British occupation of this region in 1888 brought in the outsiders and accompanying dislocations in their community. Okay, so a general bill instruction in 1817 and 19 was crushed by the British military forces, and though some conciliatory measures were taken to specify them, and they again revolted under the leadership of Seva Ram in 1825, and the situation remained unsettled until the 1831, when the Ramosi leader Umaji Raje of Purandar was finally captured and executed. Okay, so minor revolts again took place in 1836 and 1846 as well. Okay, so and the Bill's local rivals for power, the police of Ahmednagar district also challenged the British in 1829, but were quickly subdued by a large army contingent. And the seeds of rebellion, however, persisted to erupt again in 1844-46, when the local Koli leader successfully defied the British government for many years. Okay, so and apart from this, I will give you some more these tribal rebellions. And First of all, I have to share my screen again. Okay, so apart from these, which are uh, uh, the Chuar risings. Okay, so Chuar and Ho, one of the two Chuar and Ho, both are two different tribes you find within the areas of the Midnapur. Okay, so I will give you first up about the Chuar, and next I will give you Po Rising. Okay, so where this famine, which enhanced land revenue demands and economic distress, which is became a important things, important causes for this Chuar tribal uprising. Okay, so and where these are a tribal aboriginal tribes, men of the this Midnapur district, and which due to such a causes, due to such regions, they were take up such arms. Okay, so the Rajas of Dalbam, Kailapal, Dolka, and Baraham, which organized a revolt in 1768 and followed a scorched earth policy, and the disturbed conditions continued till the end of the century up to 1800. It's continued. Okay, so where due to such a famine and drought areas, and where such a enhanced land revenue, which were a great without observing the situation of a particular tribal people who are following such a lands. Okay, so this government enhanced the land revenue and strictly want to collect strictly collected this land revenue. So this is the main important cause behind the Chuar rising. Okay, so and where this Ho Rising and Munda tribesmen of Chota Nagpur and Singapore had their own force to settle, and they challenged the company's forces in 1822, again in 1831, and the area remained disturbed till 1837. Okay, so and likewise, these sometimes these both Chuar and Ho had certain combination, and they fight against the policies of the British. Okay, so when you see these the poles, okay, so the poles of Chotanagpur, which resented the transfer of land from coal headmen to the outsiders like the Sikh and Muslims, and about the 1,000 outsiders, and the rebellion spread to the various places like Ranchi, Singapore, and Hazaribagh, Palamu, and western part of Manbam, like that. So again, the orders which could be restored only after large-scale military operations. Okay, so the coal uprisings also easily which suppressed by the British government. Okay, so when you see another important movement, another important tribal revolt is nothing but the Ahom revolt, which taken place in 1828 to 1833. Okay, so the Ahom mobility in Assam, which is accused the company's authorities, authorizes or pledges of withdrawal from the territory after the conclusion of Burman War. Okay, so the attempt of the English to incorporate the Ahom's territory in the company's dominion sparked off a rebellion. Okay, so in 1828, the Ahoms proclaimed the Gomdar Konwar as their king and planned a march to Rangapur. Okay, so the superior military power of the company aborted the move, and a second revolt was planned in 1830 and handed over Upper Assam to Maharaja Purandar Singh Narendra, and a part of the kingdom was restored to the Assamese Raja. Okay, so and after that there is another important uprising is nothing but the Khasi Rising. Okay, so the East India Company occupied the hilly region between the Jaintia hills in the east and Garo hills in the west. Okay, so the English also planned a military road to the link up the Brahmaputra Valley with the Silhat and brought a large number of Englishmen, Bengalis, and other labor to complete the project. And Tirat Singh, the ruler of Nanklo, resented the institution into his territories, won over the support of the Garos and the companies and Chingpos in a bid to drive away the lowlands rangers. And the insurrection developed into popular revolt against the British rule in the area. The superior English military force suppressed the revolt in 1833. Okay, so after that, there is another important revolt is like uh, another important which is Ramos Revolt. Okay, so and the Ramos Revolt also another important revolt which taken place in the hill tribes of Western Ghats. Okay, so where the Ramos is, the hill tribes in the Western Ghats were not reconciled to British rule and British pattern of administration. In 1822, their leader Chittur Singh revolted and plundered the country around Satara, and there were eruptions again during 1825-26, and the area remained disturbed till 1829. And the deposition and banishment of Raja Mahendra Pratap Singh of Satara in September 1839 caused widespread resentment in the area, and chain of disturbances occurred during 1840 and 41. Okay, so Narsingh Rao Dattaya Patkar collected a sizable number of troops and captured the efforts of Badami and hoisted the flag of Raja of Satara. A superior British forces restored order in the area. Okay, so and after them, after this revolt, another important which is important revolt is Naik Gowda, and another Karwar uprising and Koya rebellion, which is important in the Andhra region. Okay, so and before going to the southern these tribal movements, and I have to give you some more these tribal revolts which taken place in the western and central and northern part of India. Okay, so and there is another important movements which taken place in the central part was the Kolhapur and Sawantwadi revolt, and the hardships which caused by administrative reorganization in the Kolhapur state after 1844 caused deep resentment, and the Gadkaris, the hereditary military class, with garrison Maratha force were disbanded, and faced with the specter of unemployment, the Gadkaris rose in revolt and occupied the ports of Samangar and Budargar, and similarly the simmering discontent caused a revolt in Sawantwadi. Okay, so and apart from these, there is another important a small rebellion which taken place during the region of the Baroda is the Vagheras rising. Okay, so the Vagheras of Voka Mandal resented the imposition of the foreign rule from the very beginning, and the exactions of the Gaikwar of Baroda, supported by the British government, compelled the Vaghera chief to take up arms, and the Vagheras carried on inroads into British territory during 18 and 19, and a peace treaty was concluded in November 1820, and the Vaghera Vegera Rising was which stopped. Okay. So, and another one is another important this uh, rising was this home already we discussed, and apart from these, there are some other revolts to be discussed, which other parts of the India, particularly in the southern part. Okay. So in the southern part, there is the revolt of Raja of Vijayanagaram, and which is important revolt, which also mobilized many tribal people, and Divani Velutambi's revolt in Kerala of Travancore also mobilized, and Vellore Mutiny, and all these are important rebellions, which also mobilized the important rebellion of 1857, which is a civil rebellion taken place. Okay. So, and apart from these, there are many other important tribal revolts to be discussed, and I will give you such revolts in the next class. Okay. So this is about my class, and I will take you another class after the lunch. Okay. So these are the things, and I have to be close end my class now, and again I will take after the lunch, which is today I have to close these tribal revolts, which important revolts has taken place, and I will give you some revolts which happened after 1920 and before the 1947. Okay. So and among the religion, tribal and religious, and also a present revolt, which better to be called as this Mopla, and which is inspired another inspired which is inspired many other tribals like the Koyas of this Andhra region, and Savaras, and Savaras of Ganjam district, and the Rampa is the most important rebellion to be discussed after 1920. Okay. So, and those tribal revolts I have to be discussed in the next class. And regarding these revolts, you have any doubts or any queries regarding this, you are welcome to ask. Okay, so because we already covered certain peasant revolts, and up to 1920. Okay, so we have to be discuss the peasant revolts which taken place in between 1920 and 1947, and we have to complete the peasant revolts in the next class. Okay, so today I will complete these tribal revolts in the next class after the lunch, and tomorrow I complete the peasant revolts in which taking place in between 1920 and 47. Okay, so students, this is end of my class, and you have any uh, doubts regarding, you can ask me now. Students,
Sir,
ఉన్నాయా మన డౌట్లు?
no that.
Okay, right. Okay, so I will meet you after lunch.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.